I'm your host, Coach Penn, along with the world's greatest co-host, Professor Haas. Today's guest has dedicated his career to improving the quality of life while playing a pivotal role in allowing your favorite athletes to reach their optimal performance. Public speaker, chiropractor, and inventor, please welcome Dr. Mike Bhatt. Hey, how you doing?
How's everybody doing?
Pretty great, man.
Good,
Pretty wonderful,
good,
man.
good.
Such a pleasure to have you on. You know, what you do and what you specialize in is an integral part, you know, in all sports industries and backgrounds, you know, not just sports, but like I say, just the quality of life overall. So we want to thank you for that also.
Thank you. Thank you. I enjoy it immensely. I would never choose to do anything else in my life. And it's taken me in a lot of great places and allowed me to do a lot of really cool things and come up with inventions and products. And, you know, it's an exciting journey, and I'm glad to be on this journey with you guys. This is fantastic.
Amazing. Amazing. We're definitely going to get into all those things that got you up to this point. So would you do us an honor of introducing yourself to our audience?
Yeah. So I grew up in Canada, born in England, raised in Canada, and went to undergrad up there and played soccer in high school and a little bit in college. And I figured I wasn't good enough, so I quit. And so to focus on school, and I ended up in Houston, went to school in Houston, the chiropractic college there, and ended up in Austin. I've been in Austin since 1992. I absolutely love it. It's a great place to live. And, and so kind of got into chiropractic when I was in school playing soccer, got injured a couple of times. And I found that it was the easiest way for me to recover from injuries. Because also some of the onus was on me to fix myself, right? And so I felt like it was important for me to understand how the body works, and sort of kind of got me interested in it more. So that's kind of why I pursued it, and ended up kind of initially was in a multidisciplinary practice with orthopedic surgeons and physiatrists and PTs, and decided I wanted to take the sports route, and did that starting in 2006. Opened up a sports related practice, and it's taken me in a lot of great places and met some amazing athletes and coaches. And so now I kind of came up with I sold my practice 2 years ago.
Okay.
So I still practice part-time and try to focus on kind of health things for in the field of, you know, whether it's through the foam roller, or I do a lot of programs for kids, especially nowadays with bad posture, adults with bad posture, corporations, that kind of thing. So that's kind of what got me interested in it.
Okay. So you said that you were born in England and raised in Canada. Where about in Canada?
Montreal at first, and then Calgary most of my life.
Okay. So you're probably a hockey fan also, huh?
I am. I'm a Canadiens fan. They're down 2-0. That's not good, but it's okay.
No, I'm a diehard Red Wings fan.
Oh, are you?
Oh,
nice.
Yeah, being straight from the heart of hockey town, Detroit, Michigan. That's what I'm
Yeah, he's Detroit everything, man. Just like
everything.
I'm a Stars fan. I'm Dallas everything.
Yeah.
Man, I love the Stars. That's awesome.
Yeah. So no, it's definitely an honor for me. I do have a intimate relationship with your particular profession growing up. Parker College in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
So I think I was a 7th grader when I started going there, but getting adjusted on like a weekly basis. And actually, I think it was my 8th grade year is when it happened. My 8th grade years, I started going there on a weekly basis, and we, got to build relationship with some of the students that were in school, and I developed a really strong relationship with a gentleman by the name of David Gibson, who was he was my chiropractor, but he was a friend, a mentor, and just an amazing man and an example for me. And so my 8th grade year, I had an avulsion fracture of my ischial tuberosity.
Oh, wow.
And when I told one of the chiropractors there, he said, "You absolutely did, because if you didn't, you wouldn't be able to pronounce that." Yeah. And so I believe
I'm impressed.
A lot of the stuff that I did with him helped get me back on track to the point where I was able to, be an All-American in high school and get a D1 scholarship.
Awesome. So did you both play football? You're both football backgrounds, or?
I played football, but I also ran track. Track was my bread and butter. I was an All-American in track, and went to school to the University of Tulsa on a track scholarship.
Yeah, and I'm the football player. I was a high-level wide receiver, played a little arena ball, played a little D1 ball also.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Where did you play D1 ball?
Sacramento State.
Oh, very nice. Awesome.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, all right. Why did you decide to become a chiropractor and now specializing, especially in sports medicine?
You know, I think one is that people that play sports do what I tell them to do from a recovery standpoint, right? My regular, a lot of the general population of folks don't do what you tell them to do. You know, they want you to fix them, and they take their care based on what you're going to help them do, right? So they don't take a lot of the onus on themselves to take care of their own bodies, and they don't do their rehab and their exercises, and then all of a sudden you're not helping them. But athletes always do what you tell them to do. You know, people in sports medicine always, if you tell them to do something, they're going to do it 10 times, right? If they're an exceptional athlete like you both are, they're going to do what you tell them to do because A, they trust your opinion and your knowledge base, or they wouldn't be there to see you in the first place, right? So I've kind of been able to help build that brand of sports medicine just by, addressing a subset of patients that are very compliant and they really like what they do because it's an important part of their lifestyle, right? In other words, whether they play professional sports or amateur sports, it really doesn't matter because they want to get better at what they do.
Yes, sir. The importance of ergonomics. How important is it to have good posture, not just as an athlete, but just as a person overall?
Posture is a foundation for all health. In my opinion, poor posture can lead to breakdowns in everything. Posture is not just how you sit. Posture is sort of when you think about it, our bodies are kinetic chains, right? Our chest and our muscles in the front, our mirror muscles are always stronger than our back muscles, right? So our pecs are always stronger than our back, our hamstrings are always weaker than our quads, our glutes are always weak, our abs are stronger than our lower back. So everything along the posterior chain is all about posture, right? So correcting all of those things to make you more upright or erect when you stand or sit. And so when those things break down, you lose those 3 curves in your spine, which are there for a reason. You end up with more compression. Right now, I tell my patients, it's like if you take your finger, and you pull it all the way back, it starts to hurt. Your joints in your spine are no different, right? So they respond the same way. It creates pain and dysfunction. So by correcting your posture, by sitting up taller, also has endorphin release and caffeine release, how you feel, right? So even when you stand up tall or sit tall, you feel better, right? Your brain can different and your overall outlook is different, right? So I've kind of I think that the importance of posture is not just for your upper back, I think it's your whole body. Does that make sense?
It definitely does. So what is the most common injury that you see in your practice from a professional athlete standpoint or just, like I say, an everyday person's perspective?
80% of people get back pain at some point in their lives, right? 8 out of 10 people, that's a lot of people that suffer from back pain, right? I don't know if you know this, but $50 billion a year are spent on the treatment of lower back pain, and another $50 are 50 billion, not million, not thousand, $1 billion. And then another 50 billion are spent on lost time at work, other types of problems that cost society and the economy money because of disability, that kind of thing. So lower back is definitely the most common thing I see in the general population, but also in athletes. I work a lot with the PGA and I travel with the PGA and Champions Tour. I'm on staff for them as well as the University of Texas Sports Medicine guys. And, it's one of those things where you just see it all the time, especially in golfers. You see a lot of lower back stuff.
Oh yeah. That torque when you're playing that torque.
Can you do a favor for me and talk about, getting chiropractic service as a preventive measure, right? Whether you're an athlete or just an everyday person.
Yeah, I think your spine is sort of how your body functions, right? And so preventive stuff is also based on getting your spine working correctly, getting your joints working correctly, but also having them strong enough and stable enough. Mobility and stability are 2 different things. And I feel like personally, stability trumps mobility. The stronger you are, more stable you are, the flexibility isn't as important. Makes sense. So I really think that if you're strong, your joints are more stable, and so you'll gain mobility back just by having better functioning joints.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Do you see these injuries more common in different demographics, such as women or men, blue collar or white collar?
Really, really good question. I think even blue collar, white collar, their back pain statistics are somewhat similar. People that are more sedentary are more prone to having back problems, especially if you're at a computer all day and you're not practicing body mechanics, not eating well, you're not exercising. There may be some issues there as well. But a lot of spine complaints, and in athletes, it varies on the sport too, right? You see very pathognomonic things that happen for that sport. In golf, you see very typical things. In football, you'll see very specific things. More extremity related sometimes, neck related, headaches, trauma, concussions, that kind of thing.
With you focusing on golf, I would like to bring up Tiger Woods because his name has been synonymous with back injuries over the last, I would say, 6 or 7 years, or maybe 10. What is he going through, and how can having a regular chiropractor visit help him and free up his muscles and tendons and things of that nature?
Yeah, in golf, you really don't want to, and I know Tiger, you don't want to rotate your spine. Your spine isn't built to rotate.
Right.
There's only 5 degrees of rotation in each segment of your lower back. So there's only 25 degrees that you can really rotate in your back. So in golf, you really get your rotation through your hip and your upper back. So the more mobile you are through your thoracic spine and your hip, that's where you develop the rotational torque in a golf swing. Same thing in baseball. You don't want to, with the rotation, it's got to come from your hips and your upper back to get the rotation to generate the force, right? So with guys like that, it's especially, you see a lot of younger guys do a lot of work with adolescent and youth sports and golf, and you try to help them develop the right technique and form and still generate the same amount of force and power in hitting a golf ball or hitting a baseball or throwing a football, so all those things depend on very specific biomechanics.
Yeah.
And so golf guys like Tiger Woods, a lot of the young guys that are coming up, you don't want them to end up with that 5 years down the road from now, because you watch some of these younger guys swing, man, they take a real crack at it.
Yeah. I guess that torque motion is rather unnatural to the body, especially with that type of force.
100%. Yeah, exactly. That torque, that rotation is not something our bodies are developed to do in a lot of ways. And we count on rotation.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Has COVID increased muscle and joint injuries in sports overall?
Say that again, sorry?
Has COVID increased muscle and joint injuries in sports overall recently?
In sports and in general, people are more sedentary. They're working from different workstations at their house. They're sitting on their beds and working, or they're sitting on the couches. Oh, there it is, sitting up, standing up tall.
Oh yeah.
Working on. So all the COVID stuff has created. I've seen a spike in the number of kids that I've seen in my practice, adolescent, youth. And I can't understand it, and I finally started to understand it is because they're not doing. They're not active for one, and they're not holding good ergonomics at home.
Yep.
And so over time, if you sit like this all day and then you go to try to play a sport, your body's not elongated or lengthened the way it should be. Yeah. And so, yes, I definitely have seen a large spike in adolescents, but adults too.
Gotcha.
So because one of the things that I've noticed, right, watching this NBA playoffs, from beginning to the end, like I have never seen so many people, especially like the superstars that are getting hurt. Like it's actually gotten to the point where it's diminishing the playoffs because nobody's playing at their best.
I agree.
Why do you think that is?
Well, that's why we have you.
I would personally say the lack of preparation and the lack of and the change in schedule and season.
I would definitely say that. And then on top of the fact that the offseason was so short, that they rolled right in from the last season. A month later, they were starting the beginning of the preseason. And so I think that body, as a track athlete, I do understand the need to let your body rest in order so that you can perform at your peak performance.
Professor Haas, if you take anything out of its natural ordinance, out of its season, whether it's growing harvest or playing sports, is going to be affected somehow.
Yeah, I agree.
No, I think you're exactly right. They weren't prepared. A lot of athletes weren't prepared to go back to the level of sport that they were at
Mhm.
before COVID, right? And because of a lot of the gyms were closed, a lot of the facilities where they needed to be were closed. They had limited ability to strength train the way they needed to strength train, or with the amount of weight that they maybe needed to strength train with, right? But you're right. It's amazing the number of injuries that we've seen, not just on the basketball court, but in all sports across the spectrum. I think a number of injuries, and I think that's just from being sedentary more and not being as active and losing. I think the biggest part is we've lost the ability to retain structure and routine, right? Those are the first things that went away with COVID was structure and routine. When that happened, our brains get in a fog and we don't know how to address it. And sometimes it's too late when we try to. So and that's what I try to do with some of my programs, to try to restore that routine and structure in people's lives.
Now, a lot of these kids, I can speak from my son, my 13-year-old son, and I know my nephews are like that also. When they couldn't go outside, we let them play the game a little bit extra. So, of course, they were hunched down. Also, with the progression of the smartphone, they're doing like this all day. But to counter that, they were able to go play sports year round and go through their proper stretches and different things of that nature. So I'm sure without that, that really took a toll on them.
That's right. Zoom gloom and text neck, right? That's what I call them. Mm-hmm. Zoom gloom. It's like this all the time. And it's unfortunate because now they've gotten used to being on their computers all the time or on their phones. They don't make eye contact with people. They don't shake hands. They don't stand up tall. It's sort of, we become so integrated into our mobile devices and our computers that we've forgotten about how we really should, talk to people and interact with people too.
Yep. So it's affecting us mentally and physically.
Exactly.
Yep. So you're currently working in the professional golf realm. What led to you working, and how long have you worked with the PGA and Champion Tour?
So I've been with the PGA and Champions Tour for I think 9 years, going on 10 years now.
Okay.
Through a lot of the athletes that I've worked with, where I live in Austin, a lot of PGA guys work there. And so Rich Beam was the real first guy. He won the 2002 PGA Championship, and Rich is a patient of mine for a long time and a good friend of mine, and kind of got through into the PGA and Champion. And I play a lot of golf myself. I carry a 9 handicap, but I play a lot of golf myself. So it's kind of a natural fit for me. And I play a lot of sports and work out every day. And so that was sort of the progression of trying to take it into the golf realm because I understood golf and how it worked too.
Okay, gotcha.
That's awesome. So I did have a question for you. So I understand and have been the beneficiary of chiropractic, the chiropractors. And so one of the things I can honestly say, I don't even recall what it was that allowed us to be able to start going to Parker College and just getting adjustments. Of course, we didn't have to pay anything for it. But one of the things I could definitely tell you is that I could feel a difference because once I stopped getting it, like, because I went, after my friend and chiropractor moved to North Carolina was my senior year. Now, mind you, I didn't get hurt at all. I got hurt all through college. And I honestly believe that it had a lot to do with the fact that I stopped getting my adjustments and everything. And, I'm thinking things got out of alignment and things of that sort. What can people who can't afford, what are things that they can do to be able to, so that they don't have that bad posture and so that they don't, they may not be able to afford your services?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there are very specific posture exercises that you can do. And every Monday if you prosper with posture is one of the things I have in swing back. I do every Monday I do a mobility Monday exercise. It's a 1-minute exercise and it's a different drill every week. So trying to follow through on just basic postural exercises, foam rolling, stretching, strengthening, but strengthening very specific body parts. A lot of times, the upper back, doing more pulls and rows, doing more lumbar extensions, doing more hamstring work, doing more glute work, oftentimes will naturally correct your posture, right? Those are the muscles that have to hold us up. And when they're weak, they can't hold you up. So some of those things, as you foam roll and get more mobile with the flexibility stuff, you will get better joint motion, right? And I think you're exactly right. Not getting, the spine regularly mobilized and have joints move certain directions, right? And motion is lotion for joints. When joints don't move right, they don't function right. the old song, the knee bone's connected to the hip bones to the backbone, right? Everything works together. So, there are some very basic postural things that I treat and teach people that can help eliminate the risk of those things. That doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to happen, but it can lower your risk of those things happening.
Gotcha. Let's get into the solution. The best foam roller on the market, swing back. What made you decide to invent that foam roller?
Swingback.com, swingbak.com. That's right. It's fantastic. So I designed it in a way that I kind of felt like my hands would have been on a person to work on them, because I can't work the rest of my life. My hands are breaking down, body's breaking down. And so it's one of those things where it's designed specifically and patented specifically for how I would envision. So the bumps on it, I wish I had one here. She had them. I thought she was going to send one, but I will send you one for sure.
I can't wait, man. I feel it right now.
And it vibrates well. So, there's vibration with the roller. So that also helps to bring circulation, but the knobs on it help to work on those trigger points. So it's, you have those knots in your neck. Those are areas of tissue that don't have good blood supply. So they're called trigger points. When they, muscle, normally when you look at it, muscle fibers look like this. And when they lengthen and shorten, they do this. So when you have scar tissue that lays in there haphazardly from a trauma, your muscles don't work the right way. So by compressing them with the knobs on the swing back, it helps to get blood flow into the area. And then it helps to lengthen them after to where they work correctly.
About how much does it weigh?
The swing back, it's not even a pound and a half, 2 pounds, pretty light.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. The vibration core comes out. And so the vibration also helps tremendously with vibration. Is kind of cool. Your brain perceives vibration and pain in the thalamus in the brain. So it's a very similar point in the brain. So your brain doesn't know vibration versus pain, and vibration to people is a nice sensation, but pain isn't, right? So by adding the vibration, it tricks your brain a little bit, but it also helps to improve circulation, bone density. There's lots of things that happen with vibration.
Is it able to be used by all age groups? I mean, from maybe, 13 to 70?
I have 9-year-old kids that use it, 8-year-old kids that use it. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Through right all ages. Yeah.
Gotcha. People don't understand, and they don't see the real MVPs like you, Dr. Bhatt. Without you and your service, you don't get the longevity. You don't get the LeBron James playing 20 years. You get what I'm saying? So I would like to tip my hat for all the hard work that you do.
Thank you.
Definitely, man. And it goes without, desiring recognition. You guys just keep working, man, and just keep us upright. So like I say, I just want to thank you again.
Literally.
Yes, literally. Yeah.
That's good stuff.
All right. So this question is sponsored by the Swing Back Foam. Why is golf and sports so important to you, not only on the course, but in life?
Really good question. I didn't start playing golf till after I graduated from university, after I got my doctorate degree. And I felt like it was a good way for me to, one, be outside. And I know that you meet a lot of people on the golf course, right? Golf is sort of inherent to business in a lot of ways, right? So on the golf course, you're going to meet people, right? And when you meet people, that's how you do business. That's how you network, And so for me, it was a networking thing. And luckily I got into a sport that I really enjoy, and I've been able to focus my career on as well and come up with different products for people. So for me, it was just a passion, and it was also enjoyment. And I saw the benefits for long-term business type associations more than anything.
The brilliance of Dr. Bhatt, like I said, not to mention what we said in the introduction, is that you also are a public speaker.
Yes, sir.
What motivated you to get into public speaking?
Public speaking is one of those things. I wish I could put my passion on everybody, right? I love what I do, and I love to talk to people, and I love to make people feel better. That's what I love to do the most. So I would never not practice, because I love when somebody walks into my office in a lot of pain and they walk out, and for me, it's just a really good feeling. It gives me good emotions, and I want to keep doing that, right? So public speaking is a way for me to kind of show people these. So a lot of my public speaking, I will have people go through my posture program right there in the audience, you know, whether it's 40 people or 50 people, I get them on the ground or I get them sitting up and I have them do, you know, these chin tucks and these posture exercises. And I see an immediate change in how they feel and what they look like, you know, make them smile. And so a lot of the public speaking is sort of a way for me to make more people feel better in a larger audience, so to say. And I've got fun stories about athletes, and I've worked not just PGA, but NFL guys, Major League Baseball.
I'd love to hear some, man.
NBA guys. I've worked on all you guys, you know. You guys are harder to work on because you're a lot bigger, but
yes, sir.
A lot of track guys, you know. So yeah, I mean, it's my purpose for the motivational speaking and the talks is, one, to show as many people as I can. I love to talk to people, and I can talk to people all day long. It's just fun for me. I love interacting with different folks.
Definitely.
Yeah, I will say that my coach, Stanley Redwine, he was my college coach. He's now at the University of Kansas. He swore by his chiropractor. I mean, that was one of the things that he you know, gives a lot of credit to helping him to perform at the level that he was able to perform. So
in addition to that, Professor Haas, my mother, who just had a birthday, she had back surgery after back surgery, man. And the only way she can relieve that pain was to go to the chiropractor. And I was there and I was watching it and I was amazed. You know, she went from not being able to get up for 2 or 3 days to be, you know, playing her oldies around the house on Sundays, cooking breakfast and just enjoying life, man. So like I said, I have a special appreciation for guys like you, man. Deep in my heart.
I love that story, man, because that's family, right? And the family is everything, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
When your family feels good, you feel good.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, hey, that's about it, man. Thank you for coming on. This has been so informal and necessary. I just want to thank you again, man. Like I said, you were a true hero of every industry, not just the sports industry, you know, but like I say, humankind overall, you know, so thank you.
Well, you know, if people want to get on Facebook or Instagram, Prosper with Posture, Swing Back, you know, those are both on there. The Prosper with Posture stuff is nice because I give people free posture exercises every Monday. You know, it's a simple thing. I make them exciting, but it's called Mobility Monday is what I do on there. It's every Monday. You got a new mobility drill. Let's get mobile. Let's get stable. Let's get good.
Okay, where do we find
Monday's
that
a great day to do that mobility too.
PROSPER with posture.
Okay. Look forward to it, man. And our audience will definitely benefit from it.
And they're on the Swing Back. I also post them on the Swing Back Instagram and Facebook as well. So.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know a host and co-host that'll benefit from it as well too.
Oh yeah. Right now, I want to be using that as we speak.
But I will.
So hey, it was great, man. Look forward to talking to you again. Wonderful episode.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
All right, you have a wonderful day. It was great
You
information, and we really appreciate you educating us.
Definitely.
Thank you guys for your time and having me on. I really do appreciate it.
Very informative.
Guys like Dr. Bhatt, you know, they're taking for granted how important they are to the quality of life overall. You know, we push the sports aspect of it, man, but like I said, what he does, and you know, and others like him, they have affected people and corrected loved ones close to us. All of us have that person that, you know, suffers from injuries, from back injuries, or, you know, different tendon injuries or muscle injuries, man. So
absolutely. Yeah, man. Like I told you, man, it actually took me to the end of my career to realize, you know, because what was the difference? Because I got hurt all the time in college, and I didn't really get hurt in high school. But from the time I was in the 8th grade to the time to probably midway through my senior year, I was or midway through my track season of my senior year, I was actually getting adjustments on a regular basis, and so it was. You know, I didn't have to worry about that. And it's just, you know, I think about that now and just realize how important what Dr. Bhatt does is.
I was adjusted last year. You know, I was adjusted last year.
Right.
I've always had a phobia of it, you know, and of the cracking. Like I said, watching my mother, but I told them they can do everything except the neck.
Well, see, all of that. The neck, it feels great. Here's the thing: is I was so young, so I was naive, you know, and I figured that they weren't going to do anything to hurt me.
Yeah.
And so it was just the naivete of the whole situation. I just let him do it. And then I realized, so I wasn't afraid of any of that. He was sitting there, you know, doing my neck, and then he'll, you know, it was good stuff.
Like I said, man, watching my mom being able to be more active and mobile, the appreciation that I have for those guys, man, you know.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Hey, Bhatt, this was a great episode, man. Once again,
like I said, very informative. This is definitely something that you can go back to at a later date when you need to, like, oh, what did they talk about on ASAP Elite that day? Yeah, come back and check us out.
Come back. Until next week, we'll see you later on ASAP Elite.